Well, welcome to Long Island. This is my alma mater, so I am very pleased to be here this early part of the evening. As Markley said, my name is Liz Treston. This is MacGyver, and I want to thank you again for having me. This has been a very long time in the making, so putting real faces, I've yet to meet a few, with your Zoom counterparts has been really a great part. I want to be able to emphasize to you that in your practices, with those of us with spinal cord injuries, that you begin asking the question, what are you going to do in an emergency? It is not something that anyone with a disability or without actually thinks about until the storm, the fire, the earthquake, the flooding, or the act of inhumane humans begins. My own journey was with Superstorm Sandy. Outside my window, as the bay in the Atlantic Ocean met and crashed beneath my bedroom window, making sounds never heard before, it was when I realized the only preparation that I could do was I put my social security number on my arm with a Sharpie. I remember that because a reporter reporting about Katrina said that the only way they could identify the bodies was if somebody had wrote their social security number on their arm. I wanted to be able to help. So it's going to write my social security number to help those first responders and my family should I drown as the water line continued to rise. The water ceased clashing and then retracted back to each of its side on the bay and at the ocean. After that, I was determined that no one with a disability should go through that fear again. I co-founded the Long Beach Community Organization Active in Disasters. These are groups throughout the United States that are made up of volunteers going to action before, during, and after the emergency. It's also helpful for your communities to get that disaster aid money. These groups I highly recommend you join because they are local and local gets things done. Markley wanted to talk about myself. It's not something I do very easily. I am currently the vice president of the Long Beach City Council, and I'm running for re-election. This is probably one of the worst jobs I have ever had. I would think that I would rather be working back at Woolworths in Times Square, where at least I knew the rats were real and I could see them. So I won't talk about politics. I will talk about our ability to coexist, to make this planet sustainable for our future. In order to do this, we are going to have to work together as a unit. Okay, I lied. I'm going to talk a little bit about politics because I've recently been dealing with offshore wind. The project's off the coast of Long Beach and our governor just vetoed a alienation, which I had a major part of. Politicians should not be involved in climate change. They get in the way. In order for us to move forward, everyone is going to have to come to the table. The environmentalists, the scientists, the fossil fuel deniers, the fossil fuel lovers, those that think EV cars are the futures, and those that think EV cars are going to suck the brains out of the people as they drive. Change is not easy, and it requires all the voices to be heard in order for us to move forward. Your voice is going to be needed. You are the voice of reason. You are the voice of science. You are the voice of logic. My community needs you. They need you to tell your colleagues about me and how privileged I am to be with you tonight. As I tell my story in much greater detail in other communities, I always begin and end with, disasters do not discriminate. It's the aftermath that does. So be ready, be prepared, and always lead with kindness. Thank you so much. You want people to see you? Thank you again.
So we gotta head up to get on the camera.